for
Where's Mike tonight?
the 11th of February. First off, we would like do we have any minutes to review? We do.
Yes.
15th, was I even here? Here, 14th, were you here?
Yeah, obviously.
You were here? Were you here on
Yeah.
the 14th?
Yeah, so I was here.
You were both here on the 14th?
Yeah, I just
1,
didn't,
2, 3.
we were chatting and spaced
I
out
was
to review it.
The three of us is enough.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, well,
It's just minutes, so.
yeah, 4 minutes.
I think I got up and left. I think I wasn't here.
Yeah, but you have 4 votes. That's what we do for approval of minutes.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, oh, oh.
Okay.
One got 3.
Eileen was here.
I was
Well-
here. On the meeting of the 14th, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, then we got 4 votes.
You were here?
I was not.
She was
Oh, you
not.
weren't?
No.
I was not. So we only have 3.
Okay.
So we'll put it off until the next time then. Yeah,
Okay,
okay? Any public comments? Guess not.
okay, moving right
Okay,
along.
first application review is Gasland Holdings. And come on up. Can you brief us where we're at?
Mhm.
Well, we had left off, we needed to secure health department approval and DPW approval and approval from the neighboring property owner that we could take down some trees and do some restoration. where we're
I saw a
taking-
letter about that, right?
Mhm. So
that-
we did receive the letter from the neighbor. We have health department approval and we have a DPW highway work permit. I have, the packet is dated the 7th. So that was highway work, highway work
Yeah.
permit, and the health department approval, and the letter from the adjoining property.
Okay, we need that. Eileen, do you have anything to?
I'm just opening it now, I
Okay.
didn't get the plans early, so. Were we all settled with the landscaping?
I think so, we had discussed about, we added a tree back here to the
And then didn't we, on the Ohioville side, didn't we bolster up those, right where your pen, like,
We
yeah.
added a tree on the neighboring property, which is one of the reasons we needed to get
Okay. Mhm.
the adjoining owners' permission.
And then the islands as you move up, that right in the middle,
Yes, we
there.
included the landscaping to sort of soften that
Right.
existing low wall.
Okay, and I think you had responded to one of the, is it Al Wegner that does the?
Yes.
Okay, so you had taken his comments and revised the plans according to that? Did you say you had county approval now also? And, the highway approval too?
Yes, health
Great.
department and the county highway.
Great, great.
I got those, if you want to just look at them.
I have
You
them,
got 'em?
yep.
Okay.
Just look at them all.
Do you have anything else?
I don't have any comment on this.
I think we kind of ready to go to.
I think we're okay with this one. Any more comments? No,
We're
I
just
think we had
No.
gone through this a few times.
Okay, I think we need a motion for conditional approval, and this will be subject to payment of the fees, submitting the final plans for Mike to sign, and what else do we usually do?
I think that's it. Dave, did you have any comments, or everything's been addressed as far as your comments? Right, so there's no revised plans that we're expecting pursuant to your comments, so I think just whatever's left, just revised plans, I think that's it.
So I would probably wait for Mike to sign it,
Yeah,
not,
Right.
he's a planning official, so. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion for conditional approval,
Second.
right?
Any further discussion or comments?
Just a question. Typically with your board, because I don't do it all the time, what do you do about the plantings, things like that, to make sure that they're accomplished? Is there security? Are there provisions for that, a bond? Because I can work on a
Yeah.
draft proposed resolution. I've
Certificate
spoken with George.
of occupancy isn't granted until Stacy counts all of the plantings.
Okay, so the condition will be basically that the plantings on the map have to be done,
Yes.
okay, as a condition of final approval.
Right. And do we need a bond for the road work at all? Are we going out into the right of way? You going out into the right of
The
way?
county will get a bond.
The county will get a bond, okay.
They have a bond.
Okay.
So it's just, it's conditioned upon anything that, but as previously discussed at the other hearings, and the revisions to plans pursuant to, I guess, the memos by the town engineer, which sounds like you've already done that, and the landscaping plans, everything that's been discussed, so, okay. I think you're
Everything
right.
else on the site plans that's been approved, being approved.
Yeah, I think the landscaping we did actually like 2 meetings ago. Yeah, yeah, okay.
It was a while back, it just took me, health department back and forth.
Right,
I
okay.
wasn't too bad about that.
So you would write a resolution?
I mean, if the board wants to see a formal resolution of typically
How do we
what
usually
you've seen
do
in the
that?
past.
Yeah, you
Good
usually,
job.
we usually get a resolution at the next meeting, yeah.
Okay.
So, Right.
And just make sure those conditions are included.
Yeah.
And then is the landscaping ever, when there's like a yearly inspection or whatever, is that include landscaping? This is a question I always have. What happens if, 1 or 2 years down the road, landscaping is not maintained? Is there any recourse for that?
There's a note on the plan that says that it has to be maintained in a healthy condition to make sure that site plan approval is valid, so.
But then, does anyone go out to check that, or it's just dependent on someone noticing and?
Someone noticing and bringing it to the building inspector's attention.
But,
So-
Dave, do we normally ask for plantings that have a 2-year guarantee, nursery stock, 2-year
I
guarantee?
think that's already on the plan.
That's what it says?
Mhm.
So that it's guaranteed for a minimum of 2 years anyway, and then,
And
There is
then,
a-
in order to be in compliant with your site plan,
Mhm.
you have
Yeah.
to actually have your site plan look like the plan that you
right,
provided.
understood.
So it's up to the town official, I guess, your building
Yeah.
Building
inspector.
inspector.
I mean, Dave, we don't own, I mean, in most of my towns, what we normally do is we have them install, we hold the bond for 2 years just to kind of make sure that the plants live, or a partial bond. We don't do that here.
We don't do that.
Okay.
So it's all just contingent on the building inspector noticing that it's not in compliance?
Or somebody
Or
driving
someone-
by and then we
yeah.
complain.
Yeah.
That's, I drive by a lot, actually. I've been looking, I've been waiting for something to happen there, so I'll be watching.
Keep your.
So, yeah. I may not be driving around with a plan, but,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll
To
look
get
nice.
started.
Yeah, it'll look
Everybody
great.
drives past here twice
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah,
So
so,
one way in, one way out.
yeah, okay.
Okay, so we have a motion, and a second to approve, conditional approval. And Mike will write a resolution to present the next meeting. And,
All right, so I'll see you at the next meeting.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So unanimous.
Margaret, you won't
No,
have
I
to
don't
show
have
up
to
at
come.
the next
Yeah.
meeting.
All right,
You miss us.
You can put it on.
just I can only, I
Bring
can't talk.
public
You
input.
probably should get a copy of the resolution so that it's, you can communicate so that you can look it over.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I assume the board would like it a week or so before.
Yeah,
the
if we
meeting?
can get it early, that'd be great, because showing up, looking at this,
No
we don't do
overtime.
that well with that. Yeah.
you all very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is Ultra Seal, site plan approval for greenhouse.
Good evening. Not sure if you guys, I kind of sent out a last minute email, tried to catch all you guys today.
It's too small though, I can't read it on my computer.
Oh,
It's like, I'm going, rolling it around, it's like, forget it.
Yeah,
I was
well,
hoping you had a big plan.
what I did, I couldn't get a big plan because I have, my plotter broke down today. But what I've done is I've made the areas that have changed on each of these two.
This is yours. You got a couple.
Basically, I've made a couple changes to the last plan that was submitted based on comments I received back from Matt at Dave's office.
That plan is different than this. I printed out one and left it at the office.
This is the O2 plan. Yes. Yeah, this is the O2 plan. This is the last one that I submitted in the package to the town. And since then, in talking back and forth, and basically, it's the one follow-up is waiting here, and the other one I provided is the revised parking calculations. Basically, Matt's comments to me were, I had on this plan here, I had revised some of the parking on the west side of the building, taken some of the existing spaces that were in the side yard and rear yard setbacks out, kind of reconfigured stuff, and Matt told me that I didn't need to do that. I just had to make sure I could keep them out of the front yard setback. So he recommended that I restore the previously shown parking over in that area. This is only on the west side of the building. Everything on the east side of the building is stayed the same. And the other thing I did is I took the 5 existing handicap spaces. I'm sorry. 5 existing handicap spaces that were on the site, resized them to meet the state standards in width with the adjacent aisles. And what happened was I actually took 2 of the handicap spaces and slid them north along the west face of the building from where they were previously shown. I'll open up this. This is
The area in red, is that pursuant to your original site plan? Is that all of this? Was this revised because it was part of your original site plan?
right. We're revising. We had to move some parking
Right, yeah,
around
I
to
remember,
make
yep.
up for what we were losing to park these trailers
Tandem
here.
trailers or something, yeah.
And in doing so, I revised the parking all across the site and was later informed that I didn't have to make all those revisions to the west side of the site, so I restored
But now
it.
you're good, so.
Dave, I had a question for you. Driving by, I see that the fence is all falling down on the west and north side. Does that fence belong to Ultra Seal, or is it the neighbors, or do you have any idea?
Most of it is on the neighboring property. I don't know who it was intended. I'd have to go look at
Okay.
it again. I don't remember which way it's facing. I think it's that fence is maybe made up of a couple
Grape stakes.
sections, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing I noticed today is that there are a lot of drums and pallets stacked in the east parking lot area.
In the east part, right, and that's part of what we're trying to do is on, you see on this page here, This little red hatched-in square is intended to be a 22 by 24-foot
Yeah, yeah.
fenced area, where we're hopefully going to contain whatever doesn't fit in the trailers. What they do here is these trailers come and pick up their recyclable, their barrels, their cardboards, their pallets and stuff like that. So as they have them, they load up a trailer, and if the trailer gets filled up, what they've been doing is just kind of stacking them out behind the trailer. And
So the drums are all empty?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And what about the pallets? It seemed like an inordinate amount of pallets. I mean, it was 12 feet high maybe?
I haven't been by it in the last week or so, so I don't, I've been by it on different times, and there's been varying degrees of what's out there.
Do those get hauled away, or those are just to use in the business? I don't know.
They get hauled away to,
They receive things on them and
they receive things on them, send them back. I guess they get recycled to somewhere, redistributes them to people who ship items.
But they anticipate that those will go inside that fenced area also?
Right.
Okay.
And I've been talking to Terry Murphy, who's the manager of the property, and he's in discussions with the carrying company to maybe get a couple extra pickups per month to maybe lessen that overflow.
Now, is this fence just going to be chain link, or is it going to have slats screening material in it, or?
Chain link with the
screening,
the
okay.
plastic, the green screening.
Okay, okay. Anybody, Tim, any comments?
Is there, in terms of like the number of pickups for recycling, is that like a set amount that's required, or is it based on the company's, just what they believe their need is, or how does that work in terms of?
Yeah, well,
town code?
what they've had, my understanding was how it's been explained to me, the way that it's worked out up until this point is the company who does pick it up has kind of been doing it. It's it's not a big deal for them to do it, so they just kind of pick it up when they have time. It works out to about 2 to 3 times per month. That's what Terry is talking to them about, to see if he can get a more formal arrangement with them to come on a regular schedule, say every 10 days or so, to make sure.
So there's no outdoor storage, yeah.
Right.
Do they make envelopes there?
I'm sorry?
Do they make envelopes there?
No, what they package, like when you go into a gas station, they have all the crazy energy pills, and they package that kind of stuff. They package Tylenol and those little pop-out things.
Oh, maybe I'll talk to them.
Yeah.
Good to know.
It's basically a packing company. They
Your
don't
candy over there.
manufacture.
I can some candy bars, sorry.
How much candy do you have?
Sounds great. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
There was a memo from Stacy dated 1/24. It mentions signage. Are you changing the signage or a new sign?
No, I didn't see the memo from Stacy.
Was to make sure that the sign out front here works, it's supposed to be 10 feet off of the property line. I think that's one of the issues.
Okay.
And the square footage, we need to also have
These
that.
memos.
Does that work?
Square footage is.
Well, you can have this.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Is this your lighting fixture? Did this come with yours?
Yes.
And where is this going to be located? Over on the side?
Yeah, it's not a new light, it's
Is it
its
over the door?
existing light that we're
And you're
just.
shifting over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're shifting it. It's shown over here. We'll move it. But I'll have to look look into the sign thing. I mean, it looks, it's scaling pretty close, and maybe they'll help confirm that it's meeting the 10-foot setback and provide you with the other information.
Remember a couple site plans ago when that issue came up and it was going to be installed at least 10 feet off, so maybe it is.
Okay.
I just need to check that, and just the square footage of the signage too.
Okay.
Sign laws change. The other issue I had, Dave, was the bike parking.
Bike parking.
Did you get my memo
No.
on this? Oh,
I think-
not much to it, but
Okay.
there's another
I
comment.
may have, and I just came in the last few days. I've had 6 kids and snow days and
Lucky you.
I'm daddy daycare when that happens.
You asked for waivers for quite a few things that made sense on this. Topo for one. And I looked through the waivers that you asked for. They all made sense except for the bicycle parking facilities. That's something that
Okay.
is required for the number of spaces. You would need 10 bike spaces. They should be within 50 feet of the entrance.
It might even be there already. I just can't remember. Okay.
Located so they're not a problem for pedestrian clearance.
Okay.
Anybody else have comments?
Okay, so,
The county had no local, or it's just a local impact, no county impact on this, so that made it through that.
Are we ready to approve?
Could we approve contingent on seeing the bike parking?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Sign information, bike
Showing what
Right.
is involved.
Yeah.
And we could make a conditional approval and let them put it on the plan and show it to Dave and then finalize it.
Yep.
Quite a bit.
Okay. Works for me.
So I think we need a motion for conditional approval, subject to payment of the fees, putting the bike racks on the plan.
within 50 feet of the door, right, as Dave said, yeah. Revisions of the plans, I mean, as pursuant to Dave's memo and any other revisions that we have.
Yeah, checking the sign distance
Right,
from the
distance.
right away.
This is a type 2 seeker. I think we
do
dealt
that, or
dealt with that the last time, I believe. Notes, I don't have my notes in the last meeting.
So, we did that in January, last month, do you think?
That's what we're.
Maybe
attempting to
December, hold on, let's see.
Yeah, wouldn't have been January.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's,
I think it was
it's a long time ago, yeah.
Might have been October.
We're like
last
working our
summer.
memory here.
Do it again.
Yeah.
We did it, and then we
Kind of redo it.
As long as I'm in the same,
Oh my gosh, it's so many papers.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of it.
I didn't think of the file.
Anybody have a copy of the secret?
I didn't bring the big folder.
Do we look up in the minutes? Is that something we can do?
Let's see what I got.
Kelly's indicating it's
Kelly,
maybe not gonna be.
do you have a secret decision?
I have a copy of the secret form.
Oh, oops.
I have one right here, if you guys don't mind.
It is a type 2, so it's acknowledging that the type 2 requires no further.
It's in that case.
Yeah, it's October 15th. Wow, I see a memo. Yeah, type 2.
Listen,
Well-
did we make the decision at that time?
This is just a memo from Dave.
Yeah, I didn't go to that meeting then.
Okay. So we go through them.
Non-residential.
Okay, I'll just read it through then.
Well, if you agree it's a type 2, then all you need to do is make the determination it is type 2, and that concludes the review. The EAF is only necessary when you're making a determination of significance in a listed action.
Okay.
If you say
It was a long time ago.
I think we've agreed that it was type 2, that's what I have in
Yeah.
your minutes, in my notes.
type 2 because it's an action involving less than 4,000 square feet of
Okay.
commercial
Um,
space.
Take a motion to,
145 square feet, so it's way down.
I'll make a motion
I'll
that
second.
this is a type 2.
have a motion to make it a type 2. No further review is required. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Can you keep a copy?
You can keep it, yeah, sure. I have it on the computer.
Okay, so we have seeker, we have
What do you need conditional approval?
a motion for conditional approval based on adding the bicycle parking as required. Confirmation that the signage is in compliance and within 10 feet. No closer than 10 feet of the right of way.
The sign area is consistent with the zoning requirements.
Right. And the area of the sign is consistent with the building occupant? Do they get a sign for each occupant, or?
Don't think so.
No, but it's town sign law, it's
Town sign law,
consistent
okay.
with that, Stacy
Okay,
will.
consistent with town sign law. And,
Do we have to enumerate the waivers, Dave?
That would be one of the steps you should take.
So Dave, maybe you
Indicate
could,
that you're approving those waivers.
I have that request if you need it.
you do? Is that,
That's it.
that's it, okay.
I would approve those waivers. I've looked through to see what's in there. Those are all good except for the bike.
could you just name them, Dave, out on the record so we could hear them, because we don't have, some of us don't have that paper. Great, yeah.
Waivers requested are exemption from
See if I
contours.
have another one.
Structures within 100 feet, right? Location of buildings and prior plans that haven't significantly changed. Tabular analysis of existing floor space.
What's tabular analysis? Just out of curiosity.
Like a table.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Makes sense.
Well, that's how
No
you determine
impact
the
of the
parking
water.
significance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so, waiver from, floor plan does not impact existing water supply or drainage facilities.
That the addition will be built at the finished floor elevation, match up with that.
I'm just trying to figure out how that.
Location or design of the proposed water supply and sewage disposal is one of them.
And that's 140-52A, B2H. Proposed addition does not affect any existing wetland, adjacent areas, wooded areas. Bicycle parking facility, so that would be the one that we would not accept. Were you asking for waiver from street trees? Do we have street trees? Is that a site? Because that would be more of a subdivision.
That's a subdivision.
Yes, subdivision, okay.
Plans for protection of the site's environment during the course of construction, and there's a parking lot here. There's no reason for silt fence on this one.
Right.
Still fencing.
I'm just trying to think how to phrase that.
I think it's waive all of the
All of the
site
requested.
plans of
Right.
140-52 B2,
Except,
except 140-52 B2N, which is the bicycle.
Do we have a motion to accept the request for waivers of 140-52B2, D through
M.
M?
I'll make a motion.
With the exception
Oh, yeah, except for,
Well,
of, all right.
through M, so it would be, but not N.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Second,
Yeah.
all, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so accept the waivers, accept the bicycle. Okay, so conditional approval would be,
I add, Dave, that if you could just put a note on the plan with this enclosure that the slats will be in the
yeah, I don't see
chain
that.
link fence.
Okay.
what's all is the fence?
I think we were talking about 8 foot.
Note that along
Okay.
with the slats screening. And residential, I don't think there's, one.
Let's just say the fence will conform to any applicable zoning requirement. Not sure if the 6-foot limitation. Do you have a preference regarding the color? Slats come with different colors.
If I was putting at the fence,
I
I'd
would
be
tend
more
to
concerned
landscape
about
if I had a
the ability to withstand winds. So we have a lot of problems with fences
Let's say
at
there's slats.
SUNY, you know.
What did you say?
At SUNY, we have a lot of problems with screening on fences, slats
The
and
slats just break and
material.
fly around, right?
And so, I mean, that's what I would be concerned about, is the fence doesn't provide too big of a sail, you know, like, they make different ones that,
Right.
some fence guy will advise them, I guess,
It should be maintained in
maintained.
reasonably good condition.
Dave, just have a question on, because this is an industrial property, is that why we allow slats as opposed to a vegetated screen? Or do we have a stipulation for commercial zones?
Like a tree?
There's something
Yeah,
that you can use a
maybe.
block wall as another choice there.
I'm sorry?
You can use a block wall as another choice.
And do we allow landscaping around it instead of slats?
You could allow landscaping. You're in the middle of a blacktop.
I understand. That's why I was asking if it made a difference in terms of, in our ordinance, if we specify in commercial areas that, you know, because slats, in my experience, the same as Lyle's, is that they're just a dog. You know, I understand it's industrial area and it's in the middle of blacktop and it's a small, you know, investment, but
Pretty industrial.
yeah, that's why, right. Does it, in our commercial, do we allow slats? I'm just more curious.
We don't disallow them, I know.
Ugh, God, okay.
How would they have to pull the fence out of the reused pallets?
Yeah, exactly.
Board on board with the pallets, right?
This is the general.
Okay,
And so, anyway, it's just more of a question
This
than
says
anything. So-
landscaping and screening. It doesn't specify more than that.
We do not have that level of detail.
So we've interpreted it to allow slats, as our screening. Is that correct?
Screening with slats, right?
Okay.
anything else? Okay, so we need a motion for conditional acceptance, subject to adding the note on the fence for, to conform to town code for height and have
The screen.
slats or screening material.
Then what motion did we just make?
We never got to it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought
I thought.
you seconded it and she made the motion already.
She did? Okay.
So
Then we got
I
off
think we
on
were
a
still
tangent
getting
again.
off, yeah, I think we
Yeah,
were
we
still
still
just
getting
kind
off
of
on a tangent.
enumerating, but I think we made the motion already.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm summing it up then. So we have the, subject to the fence, the bike rack, and the
Signage.
signage. And that's about it.
Are you going to be restriping this and repainting the parking?
The plan is, yeah, if the town accepted what we had come up with to redo on the east side of the building, we plan to restripe it. I believe it's indicated on the plan somewhere.
That's all.
But I'll make sure that
That's all
it
gonna
is.
be done, just because I'm thinking in terms of issuing permits and COs for work once it's done.
Okay.
So it's all gonna be done, construction season?
Yeah, that's what,
There is a note on there, I know, I've seen it.
yeah.
They-
I will make sure it hasn't been lost in this latest, there you go. Okay.
Okay, so all in favor of a conditional approval based on the signage, the bike rack, and the fence,
Restriping,
restriping, I think is part of
the
it.
waivers granted.
One
It's on the
of my
plan.
chairmen used to have he would have what he called the 10 conditions, which included payment of fees, delivery of a signed map, reviewed by the engineer. I don't recall if we have 10, but I would also, the normal customary.
Okay. Payment of fees, submission of signed maps, and Mike will take care of signing those when he comes back. Think of anything else? No more discussion? All in
No.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm done.
Thank you.
It was so drawn out. Okay.
What's that?
It was so, this has been so drawn out. It's just like, you know, I forget where we are with it.
I know, me too.
Like the living seed requires a germination period.
Believe me, it took me a while to talk the owner into putting a fence up.
Around the recycling thing, you mean?
I just want to build my thing, give me a permit. I said,
That's
"Well,
a
you
good thing I
better-"
didn't tell me you had to landscape it then. Natural.
Oh, Thank you very much, folks.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
Eileen, I just found that there can be no cloth or canvas fences in the code.
Okay, so you can't
Who's
claw
making
it,
a
but
cloth fence?
you can slat it though. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't say you can't. It says you can't have multicolored fences,
You can't have.
no tie-dye.
No psychedelic colors.
No
What
blue or
happened
orange
with
like
that?
they put up at SUNY, right?
What's that? Yeah, exactly. I would love to have adopt the policy that the slat rule goes away with anything other than industrial properties, because that's terrible. And we should just landscape and be done with it.
Steve,
Yeah.
how are you? How are you?
Come back.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Nothing has changed in my world. Still trying to pursue different avenues to keep this moving along. Everything that I've said to you in the last extension request is basically the same. I have been in contact with my engineer to possibly put a different alternative in front of the planning board that may become more viable for me to like finalize this and move forward. I've kind of briefly talked with Mike Calomino about it, and he told me the path to take. I haven't taken that path yet because I've still been trying to explore my options in keeping this going because, you know, as I've told you, I have everything I have invested into this project. So I need to keep my extensions alive on this because it's the most economical option if I were even to be able to sell this project the way it is and try to recoup what I've gotten into this. But quite frankly, the cost of this project and the actual real estate market are so out of balance that it's going to be very, very difficult to sell this project to anybody. The infrastructure costs are astronomical compared to what the lot values would be worth today. It's very lopsided, just like a lot of people's homes are and that sort of thing. This is no different. But, you know, I ask that you guys understand that and keep granting me extensions in the face that I have hundreds of thousands of dollars invested into this project. And to go backwards at this point and not ride this economy out is it's kind of detrimental to my entire financial situation. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Well, we probably discussed this 90 days ago, but how are we legally with how much, like, the number of extensions we can grant and?
You can grant, under current town law, you can grant 90-day extensions. I think Mike's practice is to ask the applicant to come every other meeting to explain why the extension is still necessary.
But the state
Right.
law is unlimited.
The state law allows unlimited extension. As long as, I mean, basically, you consider whether things have changed such that there is new information or new laws that may apply and affect the subdivision, but that's the major constraint. Absent that, I would encourage you to consider an extension.
Okay,
When you said you were considering other alternatives, did that involve, or does that imply that you're considering starting some kind of construction, or
Well, that's always been an option, but I think on specification right now is not a wise solution, and to start construction based on the 15-lot subdivision, it's kind of a dangerous proposition, because if that doesn't work and things fall apart, I have one house on 42 acres, and I lose all the value of the land completely, which I can't afford to do. So it's kind of a dangerous scenario to possibly put a spec home up on one lot. And investing in infrastructure, feel the dreams, build it and they will come. I don't feel that right now.
They don't see when they're gonna get there.
Yeah.
I just can't see that happening at this
They're
point.
not coming on that fast.
And, I've talked to several banks and lending institutions, and they just have absolutely no appetite for speculative real estate right now. My alternative is really to significantly reduce the subdivision in terms of lots, and possibly try to reduce as much infrastructure out of the project as possible, so that it becomes financially viable again. I mean, I'm going to have to absorb and eat a lot of the costs that I put into that to do that, and I won't have X amount of lots to try to recuperate that, but it would potentially allow me to get people who have money invested in this, people that I owe money to, a way to make everybody whole, and me kind of get out of this with my shirt on my back. I never saw this coming, so it's bigger than I am right now, and I can't really do much about it except for just keep trying to hold on and keep progressing until something changes.
Okay, I don't think we're trying to hurt you.
No, I don't think so either.
So we have a motion to grant a 90-day extension?
Yeah, make the motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Okay, good luck.
Good night.
Should we set a date for that, or do we need that?
90 days.
First
meeting in
to
March.
2, 4, 5, 6.
And we'll let him know.
We'll send him a letter.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a couple of other extensions. Bill Brosnan for, that must be K&E.
K&E, right.
Oh, that's quite an email.
I know, I think.
Not present, he hasn't been in for a while. Do you have a motion to extend again?
Which one, Katie? Which one is next, Katie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Did I get him out of the
Well, it's okay, whatever, doesn't matter.
Okay. A motion to extend for 90 days K&E site plan.
Okay, so moved.
At one point, the board did grant a lesser extension so that he would have opportunity to appear and explain.
It says I'll discuss details at a
That was
future
never
meeting.
realized.
I don't think he ever came.
He's never shown up. Right.
Maybe we could ask him to
So
come.
maybe we can ask him to come, because he's never shown up, I don't think.
Well, he was here early on.
Oh,
Very early,
that's
not since
like a
I've been
year.
sitting on the board, so I think that's 2 years or so,
Lyle and I are
maybe
the only
more.
ones who
I see him
Couple
about
years
once or
ago.
twice a week, and he still says he's planning to do it, but
Yeah. I don't think we gain anything, is that not correct, George? I think we went through this before. Even if we said we're not giving them an extension of time, we don't gain anything out of that, right?
Well, you don't get anything, you don't. You do have an applicant's attention when that happens, obviously. The applicant would have to come before you and reapply and go through the process again.
Right,
And there's certain costs associated with that
right, that,
an applicant would not necessarily want to repeat. The general idea with
Yeah,
this is
it's-
if you're going to do the same thing, there's not
yeah, there's
really
no
much
point, right.
On the other
That's what
hand, if
we
you're
do.
trying to get someone's attention and find out what's going on and whether an extension is warranted, that may be an opportunity to facilitate communication. so
I
to speak.
thought we had given at last one of the many extensions. I thought we had actually put a time frame on it, said that we were asking, I think Mike was gonna ask him to come in.
That's what I was
Yeah, so
recollecting.
let's, I'm pretty sure we did do that. So can we just say this is the last extension until we hear from him?
You could certainly tell them.
90
that-
days and no further extensions until, unless the applicant comes in person and chats with us so we know what the heck's going on, because some of us have never even seen
Right.
or heard of this, basically, other than the monthly, every, 3 months we
Yeah, every 3
renew
months.
this.
We're giving a 30-day extension. It's not
Yeah, I mean,
enough.
you could, 90 days
Okay.
is the maximum, 30 days is less, and if you give them 30 days and invite them to the March meeting,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
can get an
Yeah.
update.
I'd
That
like-
sounds reasonable to
I'd
me.
like to do that.
That's reasonable.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to
By
hear
March,
what's
you
going
should
on.
have some idea of whether you're constructing or not.
Right, yeah, spring is a good time to do that. So,
So that would be March 11th.
So why exactly do we need to hear what's going on though?
Well,
well,
the general idea with an extension is, nothing has changed, the application is still approvable, and there's no point in going back. There's also an anticipation that at some point, there's just such a gap between the time it was approved and the approval sort of dissipates over time, just because things that will have changed. Traffic changes, other uses
we
on the
have
property change.
we have board members too. I mean, we have 4 new board members probably since when they first came in, 5 new board members. Maybe we have ordinance changes that they wouldn't, are they bound by ordinance changes?
They would be bound by a new ordinance,
Okay.
a new law change, yes. So there's nothing at this point that I'm aware of that would say you won't approve it or can't approve it. But at some point, things stretch out so much that you.
Well, does this project seem like it may be something that you would want to review differently because of new ordinances that we're aware of? You're saying no, so.
No, we approved a very nice plan. It was a very
Right.
good plan,
The question
Sooner,
is, when
half
is
For the
it-
site, it's just,
It's more of the question of whether or not the applicant intends to go through with it. I mean, there used to be instances where you'd find someone applying for a building permit with a plan approval that was 20 years old. And although it still might conform to code because the earlier code was so amorphous that there was nothing on the site plan that was inconsistent, after 20 years, planning learns a little bit about site plans and how things work. And you just want to look at it again and see if the traffic circulation is the best possible. Just because things haven't changed to the point you can approve it doesn't mean there might not be things
That we might want to do.
which you
right?
would urge the applicant to at least consider, or which under your site plan power, you might know a little bit more and you might decide yes. as a
So your
board.
thinking is just that we should all just be a little bit more familiar with it, Eileen, so.
Well,
if-
I guess none of us, I've never seen, I've been here
Neither have
maybe
I've
even
never seen
3
it.
years now, so I've never seen the site plan. I've heard about it. I guess the thing is, it's like a carrot, it's a carrot and stick, right? It's a carrot and stick, though. You try to, if you give an extension of time, there's no reason that just keeps going. And if you don't give an extension, or you give a shortened extension, you're hoping that that's going to be an incentive maybe for them to come in. It's like, oh, the board's getting a little fussy. But if it's not going to do anything towards that end, I guess I would love to see something done there. It's unkept a little bit,
Yeah, that sounds-
it's
every
just.
time I drive past, I think,
Yeah.
when is
There
this
may
gonna
have been
happen?
some
This is such a
discussion
nice
about,
project.
there was discussion during the plan approval about materials being stored around the back of the building and
Mhm.
adjacent to the building, which caused some concern because of unsightliness and because of fire access.
Mhm.
And the plan provided for no storage. I'm not sure, but I think the building inspector at some point indicated that there were still concerns there. So when you say nothing has changed, that's true, but that's also not necessarily a good thing. 'Cause there were
Yeah.
discussions with the applicant about
Cleaning
eliminating
that
that
up,
condition as
right.
part of the site plan approval. And I think there was a plan note that was put on the plan, but
So-
the applicant may or may not be
maybe
adhering
we
to
have
that.
to
Well,
look
let
and
me
see if
ask you
there's any
this then.
violations.
Right, that's what I was gonna suggest then, maybe then, that if there's violations with outdoor storage, that-
Well, what you
right?
could do is a 30-day extension,
Right.
ask the building inspector to determine if the plan is, the site is currently consistent with the approved plan. And if it's not, or if there are issues, you'll find out from the applicant what they intend to do.
George, how could it be consistent with the approved plan if the plan hasn't been implemented?
Well, there were things such as not
Like the
storing
cleanup, you're
materials.
saying, part of that, okay. I see.
Prior.
So they don't need plan approval to remove pallets and that
Right.
kind of stuff. It's an opportunity.
I guess I would think that maybe the 30-day extension, and we could look and see if it is in conformance with the existing site plan. And
If we're gonna make a request of the building inspector to do that, just in deference to her time, maybe we should give it 45 days, or give it to the 2 meetings, just so she has enough time. If we're asking her to do something, rather than tell her she has to do it in 30 days, you know, or whatever,
I
for
don't
our
even know
next
if she
meeting.
works for us.
Well, right, I mean, that would, George, I mean, if we're gonna be asking, can we ask Stacy to go look at that and evaluate whether or not there's any violations?
Well, not so much violation, it's just whether it's consistent with the plan that was given conditional approval,
Okay.
you know, if it's being maintained.
So then I think I'd like to, I'll make that motion, but I'd like to make sure that we give the building inspector enough time. I'm hesitant to say 30 days and then put the onus on her when she may be, I don't know what her schedule is, so maybe we can give it 45 days or to the second meeting, the next, 2 meetings out or something.
I have a feeling Stacy can report within 30 days on
Yeah?
this.
Okay.
Unless there's some really big snowstorms.
Yeah, I just have no idea what her
No problem.
schedule is.
Okay, that's a motion?
Yes.
Okay, I would second it for 30-day extension and
30.
30 days. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The extension, that will be March 11th.
So we're gonna, then with that, we're gonna send, someone will be sending, who sends the applicant a memo that basically their extension of time is only 30 days now? That's up to you. Okay, so you're gonna take, okay, great,
And then Stacy gets a copy of it too.
okay,
Okay.
great.
Next is Mr. Rappa. And he's not here, requesting a doesn't say what he's requesting.
An additional 90 days. An additional 90
You
days.
have a different place in
It's January 16.
there? Oh, there it is. Additional 90 days. From his previous appearance, I'm sure that he has the same factors as Steve with his subdivision. I don't have any problem with another extension. Does anybody have any comment or discussion? I mean, we
No.
spent so much time on it, it'd be a shame to throw it away.
No,
So,
and he was here anyway in October, so.
okay, I make a motion to grant another 90-day extension for Mr. Rappa's Pony Hill subdivision.
Okay, I'll second. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We should probably just check to make sure we're extending it to the date.
Yeah.
Because this was delayed because of the snowstorm last time.
His memo says it expired in January, so.
That would be the second Monday in May, would be 92 days.
Is that from today, Lyle, or is that
Yeah,
from January?
That's from today.
April.
Oh, it already expired?
Yeah, it expired in January, it says,
So
so.
if we went from January 16th, no.
He didn't say it was expired, he just said, well, he got an extension on October 22nd, and it was 90 days. So let's just say maybe it was January 22nd?
Okay. So it would really be, about 75 days, something from today, which would, last meeting in April would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Do you have the dates of the resolutions that approve these? You have, I mean, they're in the file, so 90 days from whatever the current extension would have been. So it's sometime in January, whatever date that is. That would be.
So it would probably be this, till the second meeting in April would be 75 more days from today.
But it might be best if Kelly checked the
Okay.
dates. And you're just extending from the last current date of expiration.
Okay. And the final one is for
Hampton Inn.
Hampton Inn, New Paltz Hospitality. And I believe we request an additional 90 days extension. There's still, I guess, in some legal,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's still going. At least they gave us the date there, so I'll make a motion on that one.
what's the date on that?
There'll be a
January 18th expires on or about the
court
18th.
date before the,
So I guess
in all,
we have to get them next time.
probably sometime
Yeah, he's in court. There's no
May
point.
or June. And then probably by September it'll be over. Justice grinds slowly.
That's
Now,
probably the middle of
this
January,
one,
too.
I know as a matter of fact,
Middle of
it was
April.
October 25th, 2010. Which this was approved.
Oh, really? Because it says here, they'd expire on January 18th is what this says. The current site plan approval expires on or about January 18th of 2013.
I think he probably would have said January 25th,
Okay.
because that would be the 90-day thing. But I know that for a fact
Okay.
because we're doing the appeal now.
Okay, so 90 days from the last extension.
Okay.
And Kelly's going to look up the number. I'll make the motion on that, Lyle.
Okay. I second it.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And I believe, what else do we have on here? Oh, Mr. Wegman. Can't forget him.
I think because it's administration discussion, should we
Yeah.
send a TV pal home?
Yeah, do
Cut.
we need to have the TV going still? No. Okay, so you can, okay, great.